Hey, good morning, everybody. Hello, Maureen, Carol, Joe, JB, Chip, Julie, JW. How you guys all doing? Thanks for being here. Hey, Jack. Well, it kind of looks like we're in for some continued chop pointed downward to me. Yeah. I think that's what I think I see here. If we take a look at T2123, which I really do believe in this, yesterday it never really gave a bullish sign. The 15-minute kind of stuck its nose up a little bit, but it didn't really do anything. And the hourly, this is, now that we're down, the hourly might be more important. That needs to turn up to be bullish. So it's still turning, still bearish is what it's doing. And if you take a look at the overall market, the indices, basically from this bearish engulf, we have just been to the bearish side. Right up here, the bulls tried to hold on, but then pop down we go. And we've just maintained this, for several days here, we've maintained this trend to the downside underneath the trend indicator in the T-line. Price, no matter the price action, and yesterday was pretty nice price action here. If you look at the past three candles, not counting this little one this morning here, you've got a nice little morning star signal. So with a morning star signal, what we're going to want to see is follow through over those candles there. And well, I suppose it could happen today, but right now I'm sure not feeling like it. I'm feeling like more pressure to the 50-period moving average and possibly a little bit lower. But then on the other hand, we just can't predict how the candle's going to close at the end of the day. Can't do that. But right now, the trend is still pointed down. If you take a look at the diamonds here, they've given way a little bit. And the diamonds, should always have this done before I start. There we go. The diamonds here, we've got this high, and then we've got a failed high. Here we tried to come up. We could call that a failed high if we want to. And then here we are rolling over today. So the diamonds, for the first time in the last few days, where the Qs and the SPY have fallen apart, the diamonds have held up. Now the diamonds are starting to fall apart. And with the 50-period moving average being right here, I just find it hard to believe we're not going to get down there. I just find it really hard to believe we're not going to. Here's the Qs, and again, once we started this trend change, the trend change with the trend indicator, color change, red, green to red, we've just maintained that. And with today so far, I don't see that changing. Now, here we've got that morning star signal again from yesterday, and what we're going to need to see is follow through. Follow through would, I think that would make the world of difference in the market. We need to get this back green is what we need to do. IWM, still pointing down. We're at the 50, and I'm going to give the 50-period moving average all the credit in the world and all the chances to act as support, to bring in buyers, to help push the market up. But there are, visually, we just have to look at the candlesticks here and we can tell, okay, that's not happening. And, you can't just keep hoping that that's going to happen. So with IWM here below the 50, there's the 200 right down there. And that just looks like a possibility. So going into today, which is the 15th, August 15th, it looks to me like we've got more choppy downside, a little more choppy downside. Chart-wise, for some charts, I found some shorts that might be worth looking at. Here's UDOW, basically shorting the Dow, where we've topped out right in here. There we go. We've topped out here, and then it looks like we've done it again right through there. So here we go down to that 50-period moving average with the possibility of getting all the way down to the 200 here. Delta, we've talked about this yesterday, I believe, a little bit short, and maybe Friday a little bit short. You can see how that just started off with these bearish candlesticks, and then we rolled underneath our trend there, and we've just maintained that. Even with little pops to the upside, we've maintained that. And remember, when we're in a downtrend like this right through here, and we have a little rally, that's not the rally to chase. What we need is to pull back just like it's done here. And I mean, it could still do it today, I guess. I suppose that's possible. You know, crazy things are possible. What we need is for this to come back up and clear that high right there. And until that happens, all we've got is chop. You know, an awful lot of times traders will chase that. Oh, here we go. The bulls are back in town. Yeah, it's just a one-time thing. It needs to prove itself. Microsoft. Whoops. How did I do that? Oh, there we go. Microsoft. Microsoft is still looking short. And once again, here we are trending up. We kind of blew off the top here a little bit, and then down we came. And here we flipped over to the red side, and look at us move down. So that's going to have to change directions before we can be long. We want to stay away from the bottom picking systems. They just don't work. And you know, yesterday in the webinar, the Monday webinar, I was asked, you know, how do you find charts that have gapped up? You know, charts that have a big old gap, and then, you know, where the price action's been coming down, and then poof, you go up. There is no way. And it was pre-gap is what they wanted. There's no way in the world to know, absolutely zero way to know that stock's going to gap up. And so you have to wait for these things to happen. And that's the beauty of candlesticks. It really is. Let me make one little adjustment there. Okay. So the beauty of candlesticks, you wait for that fire to happen, something to catch your eye, and then you trade what comes after that. So it's move, and the move can be 3 or 4 candles. It doesn't have to be one. Move, let it prove that it can continue to go after a little bit of a rest, and the rest could be just an inside day, and then up we go, and that's where the trade is. So we need this to really get to moving, and also to, when we wait, you know, say it moves up in one candle, and then say that's the top, and then we follow through. Well, that's a chart pattern right there, because what it's going to have is a low, high, higher low, higher high. So that's, you know, that's something I didn't realize years ago with candlesticks, is that you wait for the follow through. Well, if you wait for the follow through, go back to, I haven't heard it called the Western technique in a long time, but back in the day, you know, this was a Western versus a candlestick type setup. But if you wait for that follow through, that's exactly what it is. It's low to that high to that rest, and then when the candlestick follows through. So the point is we saw a fair amount of morning stars yesterday. Those morning stars need to follow through before we can go anywhere. Anyway, so Microsoft short here. That still looks short. I talked about Uber being short, I don't know, maybe yesterday. Maybe on a weekend video. I just remember it. I don't know exactly when. But that's, you can see that's rolling over. And here we're at the 50 period moving average. But really nothing says that this is a buy. Here we've got this bullish engulf. So a buy to the long side would be above that bullish engulf right now. That would put us above the trend indicator. Anything below that 50 period moving average, I'm going to look at to the short side. So right now, Uber could probably go either way. In light of the market, I'm going to have to lean just a tiny bit to the short side until proven wrong. And, you know, my feelings won't get hurt if I'm proven wrong. Netflix, look at Netflix. Netflix is still short. Here was a top, a nice warning sign, and then up we went and then gave it up from there. And you can see we've just been red. We got a little green here. You know, the swimmer in the water, drowning, rocks in his pocket or her pocket. The swimmer comes up and takes a breath of air, and they just can't handle it. You know, they fight the top of that water, and down they go. So here's Netflix with a blue eyes failure, not looking so good. Apple, yesterday, I remember somebody was looking for Apple for the long side. I don't see the buy signal here. I don't see a reason to be a buyer. To me, right now, to be a buyer, I think we would have to clear these candles right in here, and then that might give us something. And what that would do would give us this chart pattern that, like this here. So we're up, we move down, we come up, and then we're gonna move around here, and then we might move up. But we're gonna have to be on top of those candles. So there's your low, your high, a couple of lows in there, and maybe a high. But right now, the trend is still down. T-line's pointing down, price under the T-line, T-line's under the trend indicator. So lots of good-looking short setups right now, and the market is pushing that way as well. So trade very cautious today. Be careful to stay away from picking those bottoms. Just might not work out so well. Let's watch the price action, okay? All right, everybody take care. I'll see you at the bottom of the hour, alrighty? Thanks very much for being here this morning. I appreciate it. We'll see you. Take care.